Meow.
You know, I always get absolutely terrified whenever I see the title sequence playing, because it means I have to be alert and ready to say, hello guys, hello, how's it going? All I need to do to get people to click on a video is put Chris Chibnall in the thumbnail, and then you're good, you're away. So, what we're going to be doing tonight? Well, I put out a video called The Real Problem with Doctor Who. Now, I put that video out, the intention wasn't necessarily to be clickbait from the start, but it kind of evolved into, I mean, obviously it's not clickbait, but it's one of those things where I made the thumbnail and title a lot more dramatic than the actual content, because, I don't know, it's just easy to get views that way. That's just how YouTube works. Put Chibnall's name on a video and people will click on it, the people will come, whether positive or negative, but we're essentially just going to be reading the comments. Bear in mind, I've not watched the Chibnall era in a while. I watched Can You Hear Me the other day, and quick thoughts on that. I thought it was good up until a point, up until they did the very typical exposition heavy dump, and I kind of checked out and started doing something else, which is pretty much the entirety of the Chibnall era, unfortunately. So we're going to maturely respond to the comments. I'm not going to call out anyone, I'm not going to get angry or anything. I won't say counteract, I'll probably just acknowledge them and give them instead of me just replying to all the comments one by one. This is live, so grab some popcorn, because it's just going to be laid back, so if you're watching afterwards and you probably have a low attention span, I apologise, but I'm not going to be editing this video because I've got much better things to do. So anyway, how do you like the new webcam anyway? Because in the last stream, we had a little bit of a disaster because the camera, the battery died and I couldn't reconnect it for some reason. So I borrowed my dad's 2K webcam, and it's got a very wide lens, and you can see my entire room, which is pretty cool. And you can see how little I've got on display. Hello, Dalek Apocalypse. Hope you're doing well. So, the Power of the Daleks set got leaked. Hang on, wait, what? You're going to have to... Right, okay. This is going to be an everything live stream, so you're going to have to send me a link to that, and we'll look together. And I won't do a separate video on it, because I've already done a link video. How many Nymons have you seen today? Ryan, you ask that question every time, and I've never seen the Haunted Nymon, so... I reckon it'd probably be funnier if I had seen that episode. Yeah, and I'll give you my thoughts when you drop me a link. So, let's... I'm interested to see what it is, though, because will they have made like a new mutant scoop arm? I already made a really cool custom of that, and it'd be a bit of a pisser if they did, because my custom would be obsolete, which is annoying. Thanks, man. Oh, send it on Gmail, because that's probably quicker for me. But, right, let's get into these comments, shall we? No, that's not the right screen. Oh, I'm so good at managing my own channel. So, as I said, I'm going to do a response, which is right now. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to need a lot of water, because my voice is already burning out. They gave it a scoop, but no mutant. What? What? Okay, that's quite hilarious. Right, let's get on with. I'll read a couple of read a couple of these comments, and then I'll look at my inbox. I think the problem is that Chibnall wanted to run away from the formula. He is so pretentious that even with the low ratings, he and Jodie blame the fans. I thought it was funny when Jodie saw Capaldi acting lately and realised she got it all wrong. That's quite an interesting comment, because I'm sure she was probably like just scoffing and joking when she said that, but I do kind of get the irony. Although right off the bat, I'm not a Jodie hater by any means. Yeah, I don't rank the Doctors anyway, because they all bring something new to the table. So I enjoy her enthusiasm, like in Series 11. I think she can play straight pretty well, because I can't remember. There's some specific episodes where she is really good. I think Praxis comes to mind, and episodes like that where she can just play it straight and play it really well. I think she plays the off the walls bit a little bit too off the walls. An actor like Matt Smith can really pull that off, but I don't think Jodie has really got that in her. But I do enjoy the excitement she brings to the role, I guess. He wanted to run away from the formula, did he though? Because like I mentioned in my video, they said the episodes were going to be an hour long, and only 10 episodes a series, but then gradually over the course of the era, I could be wrong, but didn't like the runtime just drop to 45 minutes eventually anyway, so it kind of just sank back into old habits. The only different thing Series 11 did was drop the story arc. It still did the week in, week out, rinse and repeat kind of thing that New Who's been doing for ages. I don't know, for me, it really didn't change that much, but maybe I'm just stupid, I don't know. And do people really, I don't know. If you want to watch my thoughts on like the fan relation with media, check out my fan ownership video, because that's not got an awful lot of views, so go check that out. I explore that kind of topic in detail. But I think there is a certain entitlement when it comes to fans, but at the same time, they are the ones who buy the product, so obviously you do want to cater in some way to the fans. But I feel like whenever anyone tries anything new, yes, I'm going to mention the Paradigm Daleks again, but I think it's a good example. People kind of just think they know what they want and reject things quite quickly. But I don't know. It's all an open discussion. It's all subjective. Here are the real problems with Doctor Who. Chris Chinballs, I used to call him Chris Chinball, and Jodie Whittaker. Okay, that's very it's very insightful there. I really wish I had your wisdom, Michael. So, I think there are many problems with Who just for now. This is going to be a long one because it's from Richard, but I'll go ahead. Let me just prepare my voice. Right. I think there are so many problems with Who just now that it would be impossible to lay the blame squarely on one factor. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, the point of me doing this kind of video was just... The point of YouTube videos in general is kind of just bite-size. It's... when I say bite, obviously you can make an hour-long video and stuff, but if I were to go in depth of every single problem of the Chibnall era, we're probably going to do it in this stream. But it would be quite a long watch, and yeah, people wouldn't really want to watch the whole thing. Or maybe they would, I don't know. Certainly it needs a complete overhaul, or a fond kiss goodbye. Continuing as it is, it would only fizzle out like a damp squib. I kind of thought that it would burn out after Series 11 happened. I don't know, well, it wasn't just because of Series 11, it was because it was kind of happening from the Capaldi era. And I didn't really have any faith. I don't think Series 12 is a step up from Series 11 at all. I think it's a major downstep, but a lot of people seem to disagree with me about that. But yeah, I do kind of get a little bit annoyed about the whole toxic positivity angle of the Chibnall era, when people just say it's perfect and things like that, when it's very clearly not, and every single era of Doctor Who is flawed. I am way away from the microphone, I do apologise. But every single era is flawed quite a bit. Like, there can be times where I'm not in the mood for the Russ T Davies era at all. There's quite a lot of things that he did that I didn't like. For example, the Gallifrey thing. Even as a kid, I didn't like the fact that they destroyed Gallifrey, because I was brought up on the classic series. Yeah. Fans are hugely divided by the current show, and the normies get bored and move on to other things. If they have to wait too long between seasons, I did that as well. I moved on to other things because I was incredibly bored by Series 11. Don't hate it so much now. I actually do quite enjoy Series 11. But yeah, I can recognise it is quite boring. Merchandise is sparse in the mainstream shops and thus doesn't maintain or raise public awareness. Again, that applies to the Capaldi era too. Possibly this is because the viewing figures aren't phenomenal now and companies don't want to risk investment where their greatest advert, the show, isn't pulling in viewership it had back in 2005, 2006. I think it's very much a cause and effect thing when it comes to merchandise, because if you market the merchandise right and you make the packaging amazing and just make the figures really good and a large, wide range of stuff, then people are going to get appealed. They're going to look at the figures on the shelf and go, oh, that looks really cool. I ought to check out that show, because I feel like I've done that in the past. Like, I've looked at action figures and gone, these action figures look awesome. I kind of want to check out the show. So I think it's very much like a to and fro between the BBC and character options. I think that more meetings need to happen when it comes to merchandise. Like, yeah, what toys are we going to make from this series and that kind of stuff. Because let's face it, that's kind of how you keep a franchise going, by pumping out merchandise. I mean, there is plenty of merchandise that's not action figures and stuff. There's like the Jodie Barbie doll. There's the Funko Pop stuff. It's doing okay. You do see quite a bit of it sometimes, but yeah, in terms of getting it in supermarkets and stuff, it's not doing so well, and it hasn't been doing for years. So then again, there does seem to be a shift with how toy companies moving to cater for fans rather than just children. That's true with the Black Series and the Marvel's Legends and the G.I. Joe plush and Hasbro Pulse HasLab projects. Also, the dreaded virus has meant less people on the high street and more buying stuff online. That's true. Character only have done a couple of online exclusives, really, which is quite odd. I thought they would have jumped on that a little bit more. Huge issues with the writing, as well as what a number of people see as patronising virtue signalling in the recent seasons. The 45-minute format was needed at the time in 2005 to successfully resurrect the show, but recent shows like The Mandalorian clearly show the old half-an-hour format is still a viable prospect, so there are many options in that regard. Yes, we talked about that before, how we can still do the serialised format, it would still work. Whether it would work on the BBC or not, I don't know. I kind of want to do another video where my hands are very active today. I would like Netflix or Paramount to buy out Doctor Who, because I think that they could do a fantastic job with the franchise. Yeah, I think Netflix for like the fans per se, and Paramount are good at getting new audiences in. Let me just read a couple of comments. I thought it would be really cool to talk to you and stuff and show my stuff. We can do that through email, man, or just create an Instagram user. Just create a fake ID. And yes, I'm in the back of the box. Did they make any of those tin pot Daleks from Series 11 and 12? I love the design of both of those. I adore the Resolution Dalek, and I absolutely love the Defense drones. I think they are so cool. I think they're the best design concept thing to happen to the Daleks since the Davis era. But I wouldn't want them to be the new Daleks, because they work very much as a one-time thing. But Resolution didn't really explore it well enough, in my opinion. But I don't know, maybe some people just wanted Daleks for 5 minutes, and I'm wrong for wanting an entirely Dalek-based story. But whatever. Yeah. I like how character is pretty much say, well, people are not buying Jodie figures, let's make more classic figures. Yeah, I don't think that's a good mindset for a toy company to go with. I fundamentally disagree with the way that both BBC and Character Options have handled everything. I think it's really kind of a bit... I don't want to pull any strings here, but I think it's a bit arrogant of Character Options to not try with the Series 11 and Series 12 merchandise, because the majority of people don't hate the Chibnall era. I know it's hard to believe, right, with the internet and all that, but the majority of people don't really hate it. They don't think twice about it. And I guarantee you that there are some things from the Chibnall era which would sell well. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Because I don't think a 3-pack of companions is a particularly good idea. I never have thought that was a good idea. Yeah, we've talked about this. Check out the podcast with the Cyberplanner. We've talked about Character Options and the way they do figures. Speaking of Mandalorian, you're enjoying The Bad Batch. I watched the first episode of The Bad Batch, and it's not really my thing. I love the clone kind of stuff. I never really watched Clone Wars, but I don't know, it's maybe just a little bit too kiddie for me, because I kind of would have liked to have gone a little bit darker, because I think you've got a very dark concept there, and I just didn't find myself enjoying it that much. I enjoyed the first 20 minutes, and after that, it just got really boring. It felt like 3 episodes put into one, so I don't know, that's my review of episode 1 of The Bad Batch. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people probably want me to touch upon the political aspects of the Chibnall era, and when it comes to virtue signalling and stuff. I understand people's problem with it, because I understand the fact that, Orphan 55, Praxius, And, you know, stories like that where the message is kind of a bit like a brick being thrown at your head. I understand that it does kind of feel like breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I feel like you can see the writer. That's not exclusive to the Chibnall era. Moffat did it all the time. He broke the fourth wall a lot and reminded the audience they were watching a TV show, which I never like being reminded I'm watching a TV show. I just want to just sit down and enjoy the TV show. But yeah, I recognise that Doctor Who has always been political. Obviously, the Daleks are a Nazi allegory. The Mutants was about apartheid, and, you know, the list goes on. Like, Daleks in Manhattan, that is a heavy, heavy political story. In terms of, like, poverty, that's the word. And, like, class systems and all that kind of stuff. I think that's beautiful, in terms of, like, political allegories. But yeah, I understand people's concerns with how it's handled nowadays, simply because, I mean, when you switch on the news and stuff, you kind of don't want that kind of stuff to carry on into your programming. But, I mean, I guess TV's always been political anyway. You're never going to be able to escape that kind of thing. I guess it just depends on who's writing it and how well they execute it. Like Demons of the Punjab, that was an amazing story because it was educational. It taught people about the divide between India and Pakistan. It was just really well handled, and yeah, I think it has been done well in the Chibnall era, but it has been done a little bit not well, especially Orphan 55, where it's like, don't forget, kids, you're destroying the universe. Like, yeah, I already knew that. Like, humanity hates itself enough as it is. I kind of would like to just enjoy watching my favourite show sometimes. Right. How you doing? Hello, how you doing? There was going to be a Dalek spin-off called Destroyers with Sarah Kingdom as the main character. Yeah, that's an infamous one. Don't know how they're going to do that, other than making a prequel series before her in Doctor Who. That never got off the ground, but I would love to see a show dedicated to the Dalek War. Yes, please do that. That would be lovely. A story where the Dalek takes centre stage and the Doctor is nowhere to be found. How will humanity survive? Think about that. I'd love it if they really set up like a Dalek spin-off series in the show. Like halfway through the series, the Daleks turn up and like, well, this is our plan and on the conquest, and it's like it leads into a spin-off. How cool would that be? Oh yeah, speaking of like political allegories, I love the political allegory of resolution of the Daleks. I love the fact that the government were trying to like control the population with these new defense drones, but they didn't really go deep enough into it, and it's just Chibnall's political writing. He doesn't handle it as well as maybe somebody like Rusty Davis would be able to do. But then again, it is at the end of the day, it's subjective, and I acknowledge that. My view's different. I was reasonably content with the show until Chibnall took over. I particularly like the Bill Potts year. Chibnall is not talented enough. First and foremost, he has failed to create engaging characters. Secondly, the plot flaws are increasingly massive. He should get the sack. Okay, so let's dissect that one. You liked the Bill Potts year. I did when it came out. I liked the first half of Series 10, but then I feel like they kind of did a little bit of a disservice to the character of Bill. I don't know. She kind of became a little bit uninteresting after the halfway point, which was a real shame because I thought that they were really going to get the teeth into a companion again and really, really throw everything at it. I would have liked to have seen more stuff with the mum back in the day. I thought that would have added a hell of a lot more. But unfortunately, it just kind of fell by the wayside for me. And a matter of talent, I mean, talent and skill. What is talent? What really is talent? Again, it's subjective. It failed to create engaging characters. I liked Ryan. I liked Graham, and Yaz kind of annoyed me. I'm not going to lie, but I do recognise that maybe they're not as four-dimensional as other characters have been. I feel like the three companion formula thing would have worked if it had been in a serialised format, but the fact that it's only 50 minutes an episode and we don't spend much time with them individually was a massive letdown. I think the intention was good. I think the intention was there, but execution not. And like, we don't know whether the BBC really homed in on Chibnall and said, okay, that's a cool idea, but we're going to cut your episode rundown from 13 to 10. So then, obviously, he wasn't given enough time to develop all the characters. I do think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes which we don't know about, and we can't pretend that we know about it because we don't. We don't know the conversation Chibnall had at dinner with a BBC executive. We don't know these things. Plot holes, plot flaws. If you're going to refer to the Timeless Children, I never like talking about the Timeless Children because it's. Would you say it was subjective or not? Because in Name of the Doctor, when Clara went through the Doctor's time stream, we never saw the Doctor's entire past. Why would that be locked off in a time stream? It wouldn't make any sense. Sure, the Doctor doesn't remember it, but it wouldn't be locked off for Clara. So yeah, that's a plot hole. But then again, it was also hinted at that the Doctor was more than just another Time Lord. In the McCoy era, obviously they deleted some scenes, but there were still hints there, so I guess, yeah, it's just a matter of whether you like it or not, and I'm warming to the idea of a pre-Hartnell Doctor, but I don't know, it was never something that I was that interested in, to be honest. I would kind of like the show to just keep on going and build up on the character of the Doctor in real time, build up on Jodie's character, because it doesn't really feel like she really has one. I'd much rather focus on this new Doctor, rather than going back to the past. I think it's really stupid, but that's just me. What I want is different from what other people want, and I'm mature enough to appreciate that. But thank you for the comment, Archie Bald Lazarus. Right, I think I'm going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, so go grab yourself some popcorn or some nachos, guys, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Right, I'm back. See, I timed that pretty well. Whew, it's warm in here. Oh, heat wave. Real heat wave. It's horrible. It's been horrible all day, hasn't it, guys? My UK friends. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm gonna put my chair down a little bit so I'm a bit close to the microphone. Put this down a little bit as well. That doesn't look as good. But anyway, point is the content, not how it looks. Right. Let's read some comments. They should bring the paradigm back just as they were. But seriously though, they should do them in 60s colours. That'd be pretty sick. Yes, they destroyed the Series 10 John Sim reveal beforehand. That was so stupid. I remember watching it and I was so upset because John Sim was finally back, but it wasn't a surprise. Thanks, Moffat. Well, thanks, marketing team. Pardon me. You forgot about it? Well, you're lucky, because I realised. So Till did a great rewrite on what if the Doctor was the other and not the Timeless Child. I think we really need to hold off on that for now, because we've not seen what's happened. I mean, it's Chibnall, isn't it? He's not going to actually explore it. Come on, but I mean, we need to let it play out first, and then make a judgment on it. Because, remember, the whole reason the paradigm never got explored anymore is because people didn't let them play it out and let them flourish. So we got to just see how it happens, guys. Yeah, I think I prefer the other idea as well, about him being reincarnated. But it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, because once you've got memory wipe and your reincarnation, it's like, oh, that's cool. And that's about it. I think it's something that Expanded Universe should do, and not the main show. It's just not something that's that interesting to your casual audience, really. But I don't know. I can't comment for the casual audience, can I? I should ask people on the street what they think. I always wanted to do that as a video. If you want to see that, guys, where I go up to random people in the street and ask whether they like Doctor Who or watch Doctor Who, drop a comment, because it'd be something I'd want to do to kind of get rid of my social anxiety. Okay, Natsu Dragneel. I think it's a lack of respect for the past, especially for classic Who. That's interesting. With the recent retcon by Chibnall, he proves he doesn't care for the past. A good lead can carry the show, but Jodie and her awful acting is driving even more fans away. In the past, even if the seasons were terrible, I stuck with the series because it was worth it for the Doctor. We need a new lead that can bring the fans back together and promote the show, because Jodie has said she never watched it. She doesn't even seem to be a fan of the show. Davison, Sylvester, Tennant, Colin were all fans of the show, and they carried the show of screen also by speaking to the fans with actual knowledge of the show. Something Jodie doesn't do, because outside of her season she didn't even do any research or watching the episodes. Something Matt Smith did do when he got casted as the Doctor. That's an interesting comment. But please, guys, when you comment in, please just use proper English. I can understand it a hell of a lot better. But then again, you might have broken English, so who knows? But probably not. Let's dissect this. So, Jodie for being an awful actress. I hear that one being passed around a lot. I'm sure there are past Doctors who aren't necessarily the best actors, but they do radiate like that eccentricness, and they can kind of make up for it. I don't know. It's a difficult one, because we could say that she only got it because she knew Chris, but we don't know that for a fact. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I'm going to say that a lot, but it's true. We can't act like we do. And there's a whole hubbub about Chibnall only going in to cast a woman. That's not wrong. It's just a thing, guys. I never understood the issue with that. The counter argument is you should only audition who you think is right for the role. But I think it was a decision I think it was a good decision to do, because the show needed something different. It needed something fresh. But I do understand that that's not really enough to make it like a fresh thing, because, like I said, the formula was exactly the same. The show was still quite boring, and they didn't really shake it up that much. Sure, they changed the lead, they changed the gender. That's great. That's really cool. Obviously for transgender people and things like that, because it's a role model, you know. And just showing their genders just more fluid than just A and B. I understand that, obviously. But obviously the point is, the show itself, regardless of a Doctor's gender, just didn't really try hard enough. And I think that's the real issue. But yeah, whether she can act or not, that's I don't know how to respond to that, to be honest. Okay. Vorticorvus. I get what you mean. Science fiction as a whole has taken a hit lately, with Doctor Who probably being one of the few remaining serialised programmes. Well, we say serialised, but is it really? I think there could be a compromise, though. How about bringing back a classic element of parts, extending the story over 3 weeks, and capturing the modern style of sci-fi? Once this story is finished, though, give it a month and release another story over the next 3 weeks. For each of these parts, making them 30 minutes long, means that it will not be filled with classic Who fluff, but make them the exact length of the Davis and Moffat two-parter. Having the Doctor and Co arrive at around the end of episode 1 for a couple of stories could shake up the formula. We've got a cat coming in. Hi, Bill. I'm going to have to read this one again in my head because I'm reading it out loud. I'm not really taking it in. It would also be beneficial for one of the stories to resolve around a villain like the Master of the Daleks of a future story and not feature the main characters. Yes, I mean, I mentioned that in my video. I'm an advocate for that. I think that's a really awesome idea. Having 6 of these individual stories a year, 450 minutes worth, would dramatically shape up Doctor Who and allow it to make use of both classic and new elements. I think that's a good pitch. I really do. I think it definitely does need the cliffhangers back. But I think Series 9 had cliffhangers for the sake of having cliffhangers, and it didn't really work too well. So it's kind of difficult. I think the Spyfall cliffhanger worked really well. It took me by surprise, and it's just a shame that Part 2 was a bit crap, in my opinion. Drink. Where was I going? I think it's interesting. I think maybe they should do the Saturday night, Sunday night thing where it's, or I would say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but maybe that's a bit too much for a casual audience. Interesting comment, man. I don't really have much of a response other than I pretty much agree. And yeah, science fiction as a whole kind of doesn't. I don't know, it seems a bit static. It seems a little bit like they've run out of ideas. And I want Doctor Who to flourish. I mean, something like Can You Hear Me? I had a very good premise. I had a good message. But I just found it incredibly boring. And it just lost me. I don't know whether it was just because I wasn't in the mood, but who knows. R.I.P. Doctor Who 1963 till 2017. Well, if that were true, then, I mean, would all the expanded media still be going and all that kind of thing? And it's still going. Doctor Who isn't dead. It will never die. I don't think... God, even when it's off the air, it doesn't die, so... Hold on to your hat, Michael. It's okay, it'll be okay. Don't worry. Great points, thank you, Time Whovians. No, the real Throbnell is Chris Chibnall! There's no need to shout. My God. I want a room full of Daleks. Well, so do I, because this isn't a room full of Daleks. It'd be so nice if the whole thing was just Daleks, but it's not. Something I have to live with. It's cause and effect. You go with the companion, the Doctor. The effect part, to me, it comes off as preachy. Doctor. Oh, that looks like a good website. Let's go to that. There's not good health. Because even if you go with Expanded Universe, if the same old politics comes with it, I'm not interested, let alone survive. I mean, like I said, Doctor Who has been... It's one of the most political... It's probably the most political sci-fi show that's ever been made. But it's just a matter of who writes it and how they handle it, I guess. Most of Big Finish I will listen to, but I treat it the same as far as politics go. It is up to individuals how much they tolerate it, but it cannot be denied it is present. Sorry, I'm reading an aggressive tone. I don't know, maybe you're seeing things which aren't there. Or maybe I'm seeing things which aren't there. Maybe we all exist in limbo. Maybe we all exist in an alternate dimension. Maybe yellow is blue and grey is orange. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? I respect that, and we already addressed that, so nice one. Really well argued, very rational. The BBC could be earning money with spin-offs, but I do believe the problem include the woke politics. A consensus theme here, guys. The terrible casting of Jodie Whittaker, subjective. There are marvellous actresses who could be sublime. Again, it's nothing to do with gender. The dull writing, subjective. And the god-awful Chibnall, subjective. But your point about the programme being centred about the Doctor is very true. Yes, it is way too self-indulgent about the Doctor. I know it's called Doctor Who, but the show is always it's always been able to do more than just be the Doctor. But it obviously, when they did it with Christopher Eccleston, it worked really well because you needed to introduce a new audience to the character, and they did it well with Tennant and Smith. And I don't think they did it so well with Capaldi. But at the same time, I don't like it when the Doctor doesn't feel present. So it's a weird dichotomy, I guess. The standalone stories with the Doctor arriving in its blue box, getting involved and leaving. I don't want to know endless backstory and reinvention. I feel the programme is in a very bad place at the moment. Thanks for the comment, Clive. I don't know. Kind of hard to respond to. I'm distracted by all the semicolons. Leaving, I don't want to know. I know people like the rinse and repeat formula kind of thing, but I don't know. I guess I just think it's time to try something new. And is it in a bad place at the moment? I think the only bad place is the fact that the fandom is just so divided and hates people who have another opinion. And the point of the point of our channel is to have a discussion healthily. And the point of this video is to read your comments and address them in a civil manner, because at the end of the day, how are we going to proceed as a society if we just keep shouting at each other? So I know I'm raising my voice, but it's because I'm passionate, that's why. But yeah, no matter the comment, guys, I appreciate every comment, and I appreciate everyone's opinion. So I will be the last line of defence of the middle ground. Let's just say that. Did this guy even mention Chibnall once? Not everything is the problem of the showrunner. There's execs, there's directors, marketers, actors, set designers, everything. I know that Chibnall kind of steers it, but I mean, like I said, we don't know whether the BBC are pointing Chibnall in a direction or whether he's got complete control. We don't know. They've never addressed it, and it's not something that they do address because it's not professional, so I feel like there's a lot of comments from people who don't really know the business. I mean, obviously, I'm only doing a university course, so I'm not in the business, but yeah, kind of try and listen to people who have been in. I don't know. I'm not having a dig, but try and educate yourself more on how TV works and the amount of people who work on it and all that kind of stuff. Because, like with anything, you just need to educate yourself. That's not me targeting anyone specifically. I'm just saying it feels like people are having half a conversation when they don't know the entire picture. So that's just my stance on that. But either way, you're allowed an opinion. That's not me saying that you can't voice your opinion, because it's whatever. Anyone could say anything about a TV show. It doesn't. It's a show about wizards made for kids. And that's a quote from something else, but it still applies here. I have not read all of the. There's a Sonic comment. I also wanted to get off my chest that I've been recently doing a Sonic comic based on Archie Comics. It's not even finished yet. I want to see the progress of that because I love anything Sonic related. So bring Mephiles back. I was thinking of doing Sonic and Doctor Who crossover animation, just like a short 2-minute thing, with Eggman and a Dalek, and the Phantom Ruby from Forces. And yes, I know Forces isn't the greatest game ever, but I like the concept of the Phantom Ruby. So maybe look out for that in the future. Who knows? Have I listened to Big Finish? I've listened to a few. I've listened to a handful, but I've not really indulged myself maybe as much as I should. I kind of would like to go back and listen to like the very beginning Big Finish stuff with Paul McGann, because that stuff kind of does interest me, because it was the Wilderness Years, and maybe I'll do a Wilderness Years binge. I'm not that interested in the stuff they're doing now, simply because like I said in the video, I want them to be doing this kind of stuff in the main show or in spin-offs. So I kind of feel like listening to Big Finish is just going to push that opportunity further away. But I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit of an asshole about it, who knows. Don't get me wrong, they do great work, but it's just... I'll dip into it every now and then, but it's just not something that I'm particularly obsessed about. And like I said, I'm mainly a Dalek guy, so I'll probably listen to all the Dalek Big Finish episodes. There you go. Colour isn't real. Okay. Oh, that was... Hang on. Doctor... Who is that? DW Doctor Who? I was going to say, imagine if that was the official Doctor Who YouTube channel. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? This is where I find out that it is. No, it won't be. Well, hello, I don't know why you've got a spanner next to your name. That's weird. Hang on. Channel. Wouldn't that be so weird? No, it's not. I was going to say, imagine if the official Doctor Who channel came onto this live stream. That's what I like. The civil and mature and respecting people's opinions. It's fair playing ground here. You can say what you want. As long as you're not outwardly being sexist or racist. Because if you are, you get blocked. But, yeah. Just the Doctor. I'm pretending to be a mod. Oh, it's because it's an icon. I'm stupid. Dalek should have their own spin-off show. Yes, they should. That's not a crappy, really badly animated series with a kind of a very boring premise. Sorry, I know nobody likes my opinion on that. 12 viewers? Hey guys! Oh, 8 viewers, but either way, say hi. Let me know what you think of the Chibnall era. Be civil. Don't shout at each other, because this is a... Imagine it's lunchtime, and you've gone for your food at primary school, and you're going to talk to your mates about the latest episode of Doctor Who, and, oh, I didn't particularly like that, oh, I like that. Oh, okay, that's fine, but we're still friends, let's go play Tig. That's what I promote on this channel. It has interesting ideas, but it bogged down with box ticking and appeasing others. That's interesting. When you say appeasing others, what do you mean? Do you mean appeasing like a certain group of people? Because it's one of those things, it does seem to be like a common theme when I read these comments that people... yeah, I don't know. The BBC obviously does have like a diversity quota, but obviously that's not a bad thing, because, I mean, it is very important that we do have better representation on TV. If we're going to talk something like The Simpsons and Apu, The Simpsons stereotypes everyone. It even stereotypes Americans, so something like that, it doesn't really bother me, because I know it's a comedy, and like Family Guy as well, it's not meant to be taken seriously. But when it comes to a show that's serious, I do definitely think that representation is important. Like I referenced Demons of the Punjab. I think that's just such a good story, because I think it just does such justice to the culture, and I just think it's done so well. So I definitely do appreciate that about the Chibnall era. Yeah. Cool, let's have a look. The next one. The biggest problem is it's currently shut. That's the best one. I'm a long-term fan of the TV show since Tom Baker. I only watched the show on DVDs and have no interest in any other media. I did like Torchwood and SJA, so did I. I think they are both masterful pieces of television. If we're just talking about the characters of Torchwood and not the actors, because I don't want to open that can of worms on this channel. I don't want anything to do with any drama. But like Captain Jack is always has been one of my favourite characters of all time, so it was very tough hearing that stuff. So I don't mind one-off episodes if they're well written and entertaining, but I guess the story arcs are now expected in modern Who. It's just a formula of TV now. I think when they went back to the serialized thing for Series 11, I think they should have cut it down to 2-parters and stuff to really make it feel a bit more classic, but also appeasing to Netflix audiences, because they like cliffhangers as well. I think they could have handled it a lot better. I suppose one story told over several episodes might refresh the show, like He's Time or TARDIS is Dying suggestion. Yeah, I definitely think that they've not done that. in New Who, and I think it's time that they did it. Good writing, plot, characterization, and key to good story. And unfortunately, I don't think Chibnall is competent enough to deliver this. I think he's proven on occasion that he can be good with character. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, I love that. I think everyone's really good in that. 42 is okay. It's not the best, but I think it's kind of good. I never watched Broadchurch, but people do like to tell me it's a good character-based program. But yeah, I do think that, like I said earlier, they've definitely struggled to balance the four main characters. So fingers crossed Series 13 handles it better because we've got one less companion. But they probably won't, let's face it, guys. But yeah. Thanks for the comment, Colin. 88 Bang Thori. Not going to get into a debate about the pros and cons of the Moffat era, but I certainly will say Capaldi is my favourite Doctor since Tom Baker. It's fair enough. That's the same with a lot of people, because they do have a very similar charm to them. Gave Chibs the benefit of the doubt and stuck with it until The Time's Child. Irreversibly broke the show for me. Don't think Jodie was the main issue, more Chibnall's writing, virtue signalling ego and lack of respect for the fans and history of the show. Die Hard Whovian, but won't be watching Series 13. I'll let you know how it is. I'll let you know whether you'll like it or not. But yeah, thanks for the comment there. I don't think I can really expand on every single comment at this point, because I'll just be repeating myself for a while, and nobody wants to see that, unless you do, because a lot of people like their opinions being reinforced on YouTube, so I'm guilty of that too. But yeah, watching after I think you should see how The Timeless Child plays out, because maybe we're going to be in for a treat, who knows. But it could be terrible at the same token, but I mean, Doctor Who's been shit since Series 8. I kind of like Series 8, but I recognise it was massively flawed. But I'm sticking with it because I want it to get better. Doctor Who needs to be seen. Oh, we already had Bad Wolf. Okay, I'm going to read the comments now. You have the real world, then the Chibnall world. I think Stephen Moffat had that problem as well, where it felt like there was 3 characters in the universe. And thanks for the sub, Bad Wolf 66. I appreciate that. Doctor Who could be serialised again like Star Trek Picard, one long story told over 10 episodes. Yes. Oh look, there's my comment. There you go, we saw your comment. But thanks for tuning in, Bad Wolf. It's really good to have you. You sent me from the future to fight against the Cybermen. I will keep you safe, or should I say, we. Hang on. Are we referencing Fugitive of the Jadoon? Because that was very. I didn't like the Jack reveal. I mean, it was great to see the character, but yeah, it's very weird talking about the character of Jack now. What with what's been going on, so I don't know. When I talk about it, guys, I'm stressing. I am just talking about the character. Like with everything when it comes to Doctor Who, I don't target actors. I don't know. Like when it comes to Jodie, I don't try and get her sacked or anything, or talk about her as a person, because that's just not why I'm here. Wow, we got every single Doctor ever. I don't know, the Moffat era was a weird one, because I love Series 5 and 6, and I like most of 7, but yeah, it was definitely a mixed bag. Hang on, I never saw the back of the box for the Power of the Dalek set. Let's have a look. There you go, guys. Look, the history of the Daleks. See, there's a big write-up. I like that. But I don't understand what they've done with the eye stalk. The midsection it does actually look better from the picture. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, guys. Bit of a shame. I would like darker spots in the hemispheres as well, but can't get everything we want. It's not doing better than the Capaldi era. Ratings crashed to the lowest point of the revived era ever last season. don't ever quote anything I say because I don't know what I'm saying. I kind of remembered from Series 11 how that was higher, because obviously I think the curiosity of the new era got people. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying half the time, so either way, let's all chill. The problem is, there is no problem, and everyone just have different opinions on things, but for whatever reason, everyone likes to act like really overdramatic about it online, and people like to know what they're talking about as well. I hearted that comment. And finally, we have the best comment out of all of them. I love this comment. I don't know. I'm not going to shout this. Why do all of you people have something against the 13th Doctor? Just because she's a female doesn't mean she can't be Doctor Who. Anyone can be Doctor Who. And I love this comment. That's not the issue. The issue is the writing and the directing. Directing's awful. Yes, I agree with that. Looks like you haven't seen it then, but I did. Did you? And I said, did you even watch the video? At no point do I say I have an issue with Jodie Whittaker being the Doctor. I don't say anything like that at all. And I even in this stream, I've said that she's not my favourite. But I just recognise she's doing something different, and maybe it's not for everyone. I don't need to watch the video to know that you are going to talk crap. No offence. Well, just because you say no offence, that means there's no offence taken. But honestly, I'm pretty bulletproof at this point. Nothing really annoys me. It made me laugh more than anything in this comment. So go subscribe to Gorilla 2000. Go show him some love, because he clearly doesn't know what love means when it comes to commenting on people's videos. But yeah, let's not send him hate, guys. Let's teach him a better way to live on YouTube, because that's what like I said, I'm wanting this channel just to be a safe space for people to just talk and stuff, and comments like this kind of do catch you out a little bit, because it's not from an NMD, it's from somebody who likes the era, and like I said, toxic positivity does exist, and you get people who think there's nothing bad you can say about the show, but in actual fact, you can say anything bad about any era of the show. Come on. I'm not a massive fan of the 80s. I said it, but yeah, I think that's quite hard to watch sometimes. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone who commented on that, because like I said, I appreciate it. Let's drop some questions in the chat, guys, and I will try and answer them as best as I can. It can be about Chibnall, it can be about anything, but yeah, preferably keep it on topic, because that way people are watching afterwards. 15 likes! That is awesome! Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Oh god, we've got a little bit of a... What is going on? Mana, I feel for you. Like, you can't even moderate this chat. Okay, where were we? Have you checked out a channel called Mergenman 4? If you look at those playlists and see what if titles, some of were requested by myself, and they look spot on. That sounds like a really interesting concept. I will put that in a new tab. I do like the whole what if thing, because there's a lot of what if stuff you can do with Doctor Who, and I think it's very interesting. They are close. You're welcome on Supreme. How the heck am I? Yeah, I already read that one. We came for the streamer. I am the streamer. Who is that person anyway, creating all these... They're not fake accounts. No, of course they're not. Attack! Keep the streamer safe. You have such a fine Dalek collection. Thank you. I'm trying to get every single Dalek ever made. Ever. I don't know if to do a collection tour on it, because it's constantly going to be updated, so it feels a bit pointless. But, yeah. It's one of those things, like, I've been collecting stuff since 2006, so it was bound to look like this. And I've got, like, a drawer full of Daleks in there as well, so... Look, his room is full of Daleks. Really? I didn't notice. And Sonic stuff. Because Sonic is a much stronger franchise than Doctor Who. And I need to have, like, a sound mixer thing where I can do that "oh" thing. Because it's just truth, guys. Paramount and Sega have handled Sonic way better in the past couple of years than the BBC have handled Doctor Who since halfway through the Moffat era, so burn. Also, please don't show the comic. I won't show the comic. I will read that in my own time. Doctors, the like button. It's the only way. Faster, doctors. Look, it's working. No. All 7 billion of us are the Doctor. Faster, doctors, it's working. Get this stream out to the masses. Get everyone spreading the Mono Supreme message. Love, don't hate. You can create... Is everything okay? Cool, we dropped. Doctors, stop driving the streamer crazy. Leave. I'm questioning whether Doctor Who and all these doctors and the Cyberman are all the same person. I got one is okay if you don't show my... Oh wait, I already answered that one. Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm struggling to read all these guys. We sorry about that streamer. They do it every time. That's why I pretend to be a mod. I'm so confused. I hate Praxius more than the Time of Children. That's fair enough. I understand why people do. I kind of like it. I really do like the love story between the astronaut and the greaser guy. I say greaser because he wears a leather jacket, but I thought that was really cool. Especially the scene where Graham and I wish I knew the characters' names, but Graham and the guy sit down and have a chat about relationships and stuff. I thought that was really good. I think finally they handled sitting down and talking scenes pretty well in the Chibnall area. Do you think it's right for a person to kill another person? Oh, okay. That's a difficult one. I'm not necessarily for capital punishment because I don't... oh god, we're getting very deep here. Because I don't think that taking a life should lie in the hands of another person. I've never believed that. But lifelong imprisonment for murderers is definitely something that I would advocate. But then again, you realise that you pay your taxes, and then your taxes pays for killers' food, and then you start to get a little bit annoyed. But it's one of those things. There is no correct answer, like a lot of things in life. But what can you do? Sonic Who? BBC are in a decline, it appears. I don't know, I don't really watch much BBC stuff, so I don't know. They seem to just do reruns of Bargain Hunt and Escape to the Country, so... I'm your... God, come on. I'm going to maximise that window so I can actually see the comments. 390-second sub, and I will have the bell on. If they come back, I will return. I mean we. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Are those the 3.75-inch prototype figures back there? Yes, they are. I've done a video on that. You can go check it out. And if you're watching, is it 6sec, the YouTuber? I will buy those last 2 prototypes from you because I have 4 out of 6, and I will buy them from you for name your price, and they will be in my collection. I'm calling you out. They're gonna be mine. There's nothing you can do about it. But I would literally just I'd kill my cat for those. Or maybe, I don't know. She's cute, isn't she? She's cute. Look at Yeah, have I ever tried 3D printing any Doctor Who models? I am going to be getting a 3D printer for my birthday, so... And yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate that. I will definitely be doing 3D printing videos. I'm going to be 3D printing a lot of stuff, so look forward to that. And if I were doing the animation later, then maybe I could 3D print like set pieces and things to make it look a bit more realistic. Yes, I will definitely message you my thoughts on your Sonic comic. I am very excited to read it. I'll read it tomorrow because it's late now, and I kind of want to continue reading the Day of the Daleks novelization, which is really cool. They gave like an entire backstory to the Resistance fighters, which is really awesome. And the Supreme Dalek in that book isn't gold, so I thoroughly suggest you read it. Good novelization. Chibnall needs to regenerate. See, that's what happens when a showrunner goes, then they need to regenerate. Who do you think should be the next showrunner, guys? I don't know. I think it definitely should be somebody who isn't a fan, but they do their research and don't piss people off. I think that they should definitely look into the lore and the mythology a bit more. Maybe not necessarily bog down episodes with continuity and things, because that's not how you attract new audiences. But at the same time, don't write something that completely contradicts something that's happened before, because that annoys me, especially when Moffat did it. Paramount actually listened to the fans' the criticism for the design. That's true. I did a video on that, exploring in the fan ownership video. In the long term, it did a fantastic thing for the Sonic franchise. It grossed over $300 million at the box office. That's insane for a Sonic movie, so mad respect to Paramount for doing that. See you in the future, Doctor Who. Six Stack is never selling his stuff. Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't, but I'm sure he will after I'm finished with him. That wasn't a threat, that was a bribe. Nick Briggs. Something about Nick Briggs. Regenerate to revisit an old favourite. Let's have Chibnall regenerate into Verity Lambert. There you go, she'll sort it out. If I could resurrect one person, it would probably be Verity Lambert and Sidney Newman to bring the show back properly. Come on, get it back to the 60s, guys. He's already a showrunner for Big Finish. That company would collapse without him, so he'd never be the showrunner. Yeah, I don't want Nicholas Briggs to be the showrunner because it's still like the backhanding who you know. It's all within the circle, and he'll try and put his stamp on the show like the rest of them have. And I think he probably handle it better than Chibnall, but I don't know. I don't necessarily trust anybody who's currently in the circle with the show now, because they've proved that they like to just mess around with it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know. Said himself he's never going to sell any of his figures, even though he has way too much of the same figures and says, "Oh, there he is. Did you call him in? I'm sure you did. Sell me those prototypes, please. I'll trade you. I'll trade you my Krynoid Pro. No. It's an honour to have you here. I've been watching your content for a while. Every episode, I'd be down for every episode being Daleks. Doctor Who directed by David Lynch. That would be interesting. That's true. That would be very interesting. Off the top of my head, I couldn't name a David Lynch movie, but I recognise his style, and that would be cool for Doctor Who, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm probably going to do like a video on how Doctor Who's directed now. I was thinking of doing like a parody video of how they direct Doctor Who, and I think that'd be quite funny because they like to do very high up shots of people close up, and it looks really ugly because anamorphic lenses are amazing because they cost more money. Apparently, that's just how it works, right? Yeah. Doctor Who looked the best in 2005. I'll say it. If you made a single episode, what would it be? I feel like I should probably go away from Daleks because I talk about Daleks way too much. If I were to do a Doctor Who episode, I've thought about this. I would like to... Obviously in Spyfall they did the whole technology conference parody thing, like with iPhones and stuff. But I would love to do something like set with like Steve Jobs and Apple back in the day. I think there's quite an interesting thing to do there. Maybe something with the Cybermen, how they try and infiltrate. Don't steal my idea. They try and like infiltrate the latest technology and stuff. I don't know. I've always had a fascination with like technology and sci-fi, so I think something like that would be quite cool. I'd like to do more international stories because, like I said, I really enjoyed the Demons of Punjab. I'd like to do a lot more like gotcha card ones because we thought that those aliens were villains in that episode, but they weren't. I thought that was a really nice change of pace and did it pretty damn well. What happened to the rest of the Asda exclusive Big Finish finals that were supposed to be released? You're asking the wrong person. I'm sure someone in the chat can help you out on that. But yeah, I should listen to more Big Finish. But I don't, so I don't know. I always find myself just making YouTube videos, so I never find myself having time. Maybe when I'm walking up to work, I should download one onto my phone because it takes me an hour to walk to work, so maybe it'd make the walk a lot more enjoyable. So, right, I'm going to call in the last questions, guys. The last 5 minutes, because it's late, and after that we will go to sleep, and, yeah. My favourite Dalek design and figure... Okay, I know I always big up the Paradigm, but my favourite design will always be the original, the 1963 design. because it was iconic and it did the job and it introduced an icon, so I can't really knock that design at all. What kind of Doctor Who... No, hang on. Ozzy, what kind of Doctor Who what if title sequence on what Doctor Who stayed left early or was in thus certain episode would you like to see? I don't understand that question, I'm sorry. Yeah, I wish I could understand that because it sounds interesting. Oh, let me back. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, because I certainly enjoyed talking to you guys about the Chibnall era. I enjoyed playing nicely because step 1, buy sleeping bag from B&M, set up camp in B&M till the sets are released. My B&M takes way longer than they should do to get the new sets in, so I would be waiting there a while. I'd probably die of starvation, so that's not going to happen. If you had to watch a Doctor Who episode right now, what would it be? Good question. I haven't watched a classic episode in a long time, so maybe something classic. Maybe I want to say Day of the Daleks because I'm reading it. Because I don't know, I love that story. I mean, it's not the best, but I love that story. But yeah, maybe something like the Three Doctors or something from the Pertwee era, because I've not seen Pertwee stuff in a while. Watch Mind Robbers 1960 and Paradigm Hybrid video since you like those designs. I will. And thank you for tuning in, Tech Tier. I really do appreciate. I really appreciate that, man. Not enough people comment on. Well, people do comment on the live streams, but it's great to have people who support the live streams, if you get what I mean. So it's really nice to have you here, man. I do really appreciate that. Watch the Ark. I've seen the Ark, and it's an interesting watch. Thank you, Doctor Who, for. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason I still do this, because, yeah, it's obviously fun making videos, but the cherry on the cake is you guys commenting and showing the support, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. Creating a good community. So have a good night, guys, and I will see you later. I'm going to leave 5 seconds at the end because it cuts me off when I click stop streaming, so we're going to leave 5 seconds before I stop.